This is Minecraft running at 20 ticks per second. And if I type in this command, now Minecraft is running at 0 ticks per second. So in Minecraft, 1 second is equal to 20 ticks. And in the later versions, the /tick command allows you to change how fast the game runs. At 200 ticks, the game is almost unplayable because everything moves so fast. And at 0 ticks, everything stops completely. And when I was messing around with this, I was like, I wonder if you can beat Minecraft like this. Now, when I first thought about this, I was worried because Minecraft tracks most actions through ticks. Like, can I even light another portal like this? But after loading up a world, running the tick freeze command to stop the world, I went to go collect wood and I discovered my first problem. I can't pick up blocks. And on top of that, when I tried to go get food, I found that I can't even hit a mob more than one time before it's stuck. Now those two issues are pretty big problems, but this wouldn't even be a video if I didn't have a solution. Because what I'm thinking is villages. I found that I'm able to open chests, which means I can get things like wood, food, and iron. And we do have to be particular though, because what we really want is taiga villages. If you didn't know, taiga villages are the only villages where you can find wood in the chest. So this gives a solution to finding wood, food, and tools. Now if you wanted it to be a little easier, you could go to a pillager outpost because it actually has wood, food, and sometimes iron. But either way, you can confirmed get all the resources you need from the overworld. Alright, now let's see if we can actually go to the nether. We can get obsidian pretty easily from blacksmiths, and then we can get flint and steel from ruined portals. And yes, there is a blacksmith for every village type. Even taiga, it looks like this, and even though there's no lava outside, there is still obsidian in the chest. Now, fortunately for us, the portal does light, and we can actually go into the nether, and it works perfectly, which I was really glad about. But that is nowhere near the challenge we were going to have in the nether. Now, the first thing I wanted to check was if we could trade for pearls, which I didn't think we could do, and I tested it, and yeah, we can't trade for pearls. The piglins don't move or anything. But if you didn't get enough food in the overworld, you can still come here for golden carrots. Up to you. It's not dangerous this time since the piglins don't move, but it's just an option. Regardless, since we can't trade for pearls, it means we're gonna have to kill endermen for pearls, which means a warp forest. And if you can't tell by the hesitancy in my voice, yeah, it didn't go well. So basically, no endermen spawn, because ticks don't run as soon as you enter the nether. Nothing has happened, including entity spawns. I even tried teleporting everything to me. All endermen, I tried to teleport them to me, and there weren't any. So that's not gonna work. But luckily, there is another option. Because in stronghold chests, there is a small chance for ender pearls to spawn. Like I said, it is a small chance, so getting enough eyes is going to be incredibly annoying, but nevertheless, you can get ender pearls in the stronghold chests. So technically speaking, we do have a way to get all the pearls we need. Now the next step in the nether is getting blaze rods, and that was somehow even worse than getting pearls, because I looked around the fortress, and I went to the spawners, and no blazes. I waited around the spawners and nothing happened. And I'm assuming that's because mob spawners need a certain amount of ticks in order to spawn entities, which sucks, because that means we don't get blaze rods. Now if you don't know, blazes are the only place that you can get blaze rods, kind of obviously. There's nowhere else you can get them. And since they need ticks to spawn, it means we can't get blaze rods at all. And the annoying part is these guys do spawn. Whenever the world generates, striders spawn in the lava, but blazes won't spawn in the fortress? Now at this point, I was pretty upset, because if we don't get blaze rods, then we don't get Eyes of Ender, and if we don't get Eyes of Ender, we can't go to the end. Right? Now I think I've seen this online, where there are worlds that generate where the portal is accidentally lit as soon as the world is made. Now if that were the case, then we'd be able to go to the end without needing blaze rods or pearls. So after just a bit of research, I found a world that supposedly has a lit portal in version 1.21.8. So I loaded up that world and I went to check the portal and it wasn't lit. Oh wait, okay, no sorry, I got my spawns wrong. It is lit, which is amazing. This means that we can get to the end without using blaze rods or ender pearls. So now that we know that we can make it to the end, it should be easy, right? We just have to kill the dragon. Well, not really. When I went through to the end, the first thing I noticed was that there was no bedrock structure in the middle. That return portal was not there. And after looking for another second, I noticed there was no dragon. There was no dragon. Now, even if you've never speedrun the game, you can probably guess that without a dragon, we can't beat the game because the dragon is the end of the game. I decided to increment the game one tick at a time, just to see if anything would happen, and after about 5 ticks, the dragon actually did spawn. Which is almost worse because it confirms that yes, the dragon doesn't spawn until about 1 second after someone gets to the end. Now, for the sake of the argument, let's just disregard that so we can actually consider if it would be possible to kill the dragon. Now, remember that issue I had where I could only hit the mob once? Well, the same is true of the dragon. And this isn't a deal breaker, but it does mean that I have to kill the dragon in 1 hit. So I went to test if you were able to kill things in 1 hit, and you are. The cow looks like it's still alive, but it dropped items, so it is dead. Now the biggest actual problem is how much health the dragon has, which means I have to do a lot of damage in 1 instance. And I looked for a lot of different ways. I probably spent over an hour looking for ways I could deal a lot of damage in 1 hit. But I was honestly coming up empty-handed. TNT, bows, TNT minecarts, none of that was gonna work. And after trying to kill the dragon with beds, I then thought, wait, can't the mace do almost infinite damage based on how far you fall? And based on what I determined, yes, it can. From about 800 blocks, you can one-shot the dragon with just a mace. Now, it looks like the dragon is still alive, and the health bar is still full, but we got the Free the End achievement, so it is dead. Now, if you're super smart and really good at the game, then you know how you get the mace, which is through the trial chambers, which is why we can't use the mace at all. Now, if you remember at the beginning, we couldn't pick up those pieces of wood that we had mined. So even if we could make it through a trial chamber, let mobs spawn through the spawners, which they won't, killed the mobs, and picked up the ominous key, which we can't, and then somehow opened the ominous vault, which we can't, we still wouldn't be able to pick up the core that we need to make the mace. Again, I tried for hours to try and figure out if there was any way to pick up items, either through fishing rods, through hoppers, anything, and nothing would work. So that's it. Without a mace, we can't kill the dragon in 1 hit, and if we can't kill it in 1 hit, then we can't kill it. Yet. Just last week, Minecraft Live revealed the Spear, which is a weapon that works similar to the mace, except instead of vertical momentum, it follows horizontal momentum. And it's crafted with really easy resources so it's obtainable at 0 ticks. Since the dragon has 100 hearts, and the spear deals half a heart of damage for every block per second that you're moving, it means we would have to move at about 200 blocks per second to one-shot the dragon. So the strategy in mind is to travel to dozens of snowy villages to find a couple blocks of blue ice from one specific house. Then line up the ice in a path heading straight towards the dragon, line up a boat angled directly towards the dragon's head hitbox, then get in the boat and charge the spear while heading directly towards the dragon. Now, I don't know if this would actually work. There's a number of reasons why this could totally not work at all. You might not be able to get enough speed. The boat hitbox could collide with the dragon before the hitbox of your charged spear could hit the dragon. The spear could also not target the dragon's head hitbox when dealing damage to it. So until the update actually comes out, there is no definitive answer to it. And if you're wondering why we aren't using an elytra to gain the speed, since the elytra is held in an item frame, it means that we simply can't get it. So while there may not have been an actual conclusion, I hope you at least enjoyed the idea that it could be possible. And by all means, if I missed something, if I did something or said something wrong, let me know, correct me, because by no means am I trying to lie or trick people about this. This was just a fun idea that I had and I thought I would talk about it. So by all means, correct me, and if you enjoyed, leave a like or subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.